What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Altknots. Cheers before we get into it. This is part 2 of my Michael's yarn shopping video. I have both of my Addy machines out. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do beanies for all of those. Shocker, I changed my mind. So I do have my little Addy machine too. So if you have no idea what an Addy machine is, they are knitting machines. And obviously we have the king size and then we have the baby size, but I think this one's actually called Express. That's the technical name, but king size, baby size. I have both of these out today in order to cake up some of the yarn that I got from Michael's yesterday to see the color work up as quick as possible. This is like the fastest way that I can get something out. With the smaller machine, in my mind, what I was thinking was socks. For some reason, when I went to bed and I thought about it, I was like, I really want this in socks. It is, what is it, a 6mm? Yeah, 6.5. It's a bulky number 5, but I think it still might work for socks. I don't know, we'll see. This one, like the bigger, bulkier ones, I'm not even sure if they're gonna work on the Addy machine, so that might not even happen. But the other ones are a little bit thinner. If you wanna see the ins and outs of each cake of yarn, I will link that video down below. That's the first part. You can go check that out and then come back and see them all worked up. So this one is definitely gonna work on the Addy King, and I want this to be a hat. I wanna see all of this worked up. I have a caramel macchiato today. So good. Let me know what you're sipping on too. It's a super, super cold day. Probably one of the coldest days so far in fall. So beanies, I think we're gonna start with this one because I know that this can be a beanie. I know that there's enough in this. This is the Falling Leaves by Impeccable, so not even a Karen yarn. Actually, let's just start with this. I like the red. I will actually wear this one like today after it's done. And it's called Lava. Appreciate all of the cutesy names for them too. Lark's Foot Stitch Crochet Blanket. I am definitely going to keep these labels in order to save these patterns for another day, but again, I just don't have time for it right today. I do have the clamps to attach it onto the table. If you want to work these up really, really fast on the Addy machine, I suggest that you get a table or somewhere secure that you can attach it onto. That way you can go honestly as fast as you want to, or as fast as the machine will let you. Let's be honest, it really depends on the machine and the day. We're hoping for a good day though. We're hoping that we're gonna vibe together, but holding these two down is really gonna make a huge difference. It's not gonna jump around, and then also you're not gonna skip stitches either. Lava, Cloud Cake, number 1. We're gonna start with this one. Oh, does it have the no, it doesn't have the center pole. Ooh, do I even risk that? Is it just gonna be a giant mess? Yeah, it's gonna be a giant mess. Okay, so this one starts off, it's almost like a brown. I don't know. When it was all caked up together, I didn't see that much brown. Maybe like a caramel. That's kind of what it looks like. Still super freaking soft though. This hat is gonna be so nice. When I tell you that my Addy machine loved this yarn, I'm not exaggerating. There was not one drop stitch. It didn't get caught once. I barely even had to hold on to it. Look at the result of this. The color gradient is a lot more subtle than I was expecting, which, I mean, obviously because this is a pretty big cake of yarn and I only did 90 rows on my Addy machine. That's kind of my go-to for beanies. I don't really like them too long. This is gonna get folded inside out though, so it's gonna like double up. So freaking soft. If you were concerned because of like how fluffy it is, you're like, because I was like, I don't know if this is gonna really work on the Addy machine. It's thick enough that it stays on each one of them. The fuzz, there really is no like fluffy fuzz. And that's really what the Addy machine hates, is when it's fluffy fuzz everywhere. The color that I wasn't like super fond of is just right on the top. I'm okay with that. Okay, so don't pull too hard because I just broke the yarn right there. Be delicate with it. Okay, good to know. For whatever reason, I do that with my Addy hats, though. I pull it really, really tight. There is no reason to pull that tight, but I do. Obviously, this yarn is a little more delicate than I was giving it credit. Yeah, yep. It makes sense. It is cloud cake yarn. Obviously, I fixed it pretty easily, picked up the stitch, worked around it, but that would be terrible if you were like halfway through your project or on the Addy machine. Yeah, this color is adorable. It's incredibly soft. And this one is the machine wash and dryable. Yeah, so you can make a bunch of these and have them all throughout the winter season. Easily get 2 more hats out of this. You can make them with like pom-poms if you want, but I kind of like the slouchy ones. They're just the like easy throw on and go hats. So that's my go-to hat. I don't wear hats often, but it's like if it's cold, I will wear hats. I know that the Addy machine is gonna like because I've used impeccable yarn on it before. Wound really tightly together. There's no fluff, no fuzzy tidbits on it. It works really, really well. It's my go-to, honestly. Not from this line. Like, this is Loops and Threads. I'm not even entirely sure what line this is. It was just randomly with all the rest of the fall colors, but I mean, this is their Loops and Threads, so they have it at Michael's often. 100 grams in here, so I can probably make 1 hat from this. I was not expecting this one to turn out as freaking beautiful as this did. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. I mean, it's called Falling Leaves, so fall colors, right? I don't know, it's perfect. Like, if you like self-striping type of yarn, grab a couple of skeins of these. I could maybe do 1 more beanie from this, not a double over beanie. So I could do like a 50 row type of beanie that would just like go over, or maybe like 60 rows and do a cuff for it. But otherwise, 1 skein on the Addy machine gets you 1 beanie. I actually did have 1 drop stitch on this, which was kind of surprising. I think it was just because I doubled it up. I don't normally double it up with this type of yarn, so it was just getting really, really heavy on the machine. I'm loving this color. I almost like it more than the red one, which is kind of crazy because I thought the lava one was gonna be my all-time favorite out of all that I got from Michael's, or all of the colors. This one might win. This one is gonna be a lot warmer than the other one they made. I mean, obviously, this is really light and airy. This one, however, is really thick and it's 100% acrylic. So it's gonna be easy for wear and tear. Like, I'm gonna wear this one probably every single day. Yeah, perfect for the pumpkin patch. It's really warm in the house. Otherwise, I would honestly keep wearing this one. I'm getting actually warm even with my cardigan on, which is crazy. I wear cardigans all the time. Okay, next one, what do we have? This is the Ginger Snap, and it is the spice cake. I thought about it, and I think I am gonna order more. I'm gonna order more, and I'm gonna do this blanket on here. Yes. Wait, that is, yeah, okay, it is. It's the crochet one. I was like, there was one that was knit and one that was crochet, but yeah, I'm obsessed with this blanket, and I just really feel like it's gonna be a super, super thick beanie. So I think I'm gonna leave this one today. I know it's kind of sad because I'm not gonna work it up. Oof, hot, there we go. We'll have to have like a movie day and watch Ginger Snap. The last one, well, we have 2 more that would work. And I need to decide, we're gonna do this one first because I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna make socks with this one because it just feels too perfect for that. Especially since I had so much of the other Karen cake, I might actually have enough to make socks and a beanie. But let's try this one first. I imagine that the adding machine is going to hate this. Like, it's going to hate this. It's sticky yarn, very, very fluffy, all the things that the adding machine does not like, and I'm gonna make it do it today. So let's see, it is a number 4 though. This one does have wool in it, right? Yeah, 9% wool polyester, so it is a hand wash. Not thrilled about that, especially with beanies. Normally I want them to be like, at least throw it in the washer. If I can't throw it in the dryer, that's fine, but I at least want to be able to throw it in the wash. So let's just hope the color turns out really pretty. I was right, it hated it. Like, I tried 3 different times. The problem wasn't the fact of getting the stitches on there, it kept pulling. Like, that looks like such a mess because the yarn is so sticky and fluffy, which makes it perfect for winter type of accessories. But for the adding machine, it's a hard no. So this is not gonna work. I will do something with it later. I'm sure I'll end up making, maybe I'll do the scarf that's on the outside there, or I'll go to their site, Michaels, for loops and threads. They have a bunch of free patterns on their site. But anyways, for the adding machine, that is a hard pass. It did not want to work with me. I am gonna do this last one because the other 3, I just have a feeling like if this is a no, and this is a medium 4, but it's sticky yarn. Those ones are a bulky 6, and then there's a super bulky number 6. The adding machine's not gonna like it. So we're gonna make a hat from this and then see if I have enough to make a matching pair of socks. This is definitely the softest out of all of them. Like, I thought this one was gonna win. No. And it looks like pumpkin pie. I know that's not the name of it, but the colors combined together. As I was spinning it up, I thought this would look really, really cool as a cardigan or a sweater, like a jumper, because it's gonna do the color work for you. Like, I wasn't expecting the colors to be this blocky, but it would be super cool. Oh no, I stabbed it through here. This is gonna be still a little bit too thin for socks. I'm still gonna make them, but I'm gonna hold them together with another strand. Because even though it says, yeah, it says number 5 bulky, it's pretty thin on the adding machine. It gets squished down, but the adding machine loved it again. Here is my takeaway from that too. I think it's how this is caked up. The Karen cakes, all that I've used today and previously, seem to work really well in here. And it's because there really is not that much tension. Like, it's not pulling as you're pulling it out and working it up. It comes out really like loosely. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. Where this one that was an actual skein, it was pretty tight. So what I normally do is take the tag off and kind of like loosen it up a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, it can pull too much tension on here and then you end up with drop stitches or the sizing is all over the place. But the cakes, the adding machine loves the cakes. I may actually have to order more of this to make a jumper now. And it's machine wash and dryable, right? Yeah, machine wash and dryable. Okay, yeah, this has to be a sweater. Sweater to match the hat and the socks. This one wasn't limited edition. Okay, so we should be good. I should be able to like either order it or go back to Michael's like today and still be totally fine. Genuinely the coziest hat that I've ever made in my entire life. So freaking snuggly, easily 2 out of this one cake. I think I'm gonna hold it together with this one because I have so much of it left. And those 2 colors, they kind of go together. And it's gonna continue being really, really soft. But yes, also cardigan. Just throwing it out there. If you are wanting to make a cardigan, which I do have a tutorial for that on my channel. If you wanna try to make one, it's just basically panels on the adding machine, seam them all together, and there you go. I do my socks a little bit differently than in the last video or like the last tutorial that I did. The beginning part of the sock is now where I end up like finishing for like the leg hole. There's a little more give and it's not quite as tight. That was one of the main things about knitting machine socks is I was finding that they were just a little too tight depending on the type of yarn that you use. This one has a lot of stretch to it. And look how freaking perfect these colors are together. They both look like totally different mismatched socks because they both had different gradients going. They now look like pumpkin pie socks. These are gonna be for whatever movie night I have tonight. I can't remember which one it is. We are right in the midst of the 31 nights of Halloween horror movies. Hellraiser, that's what it is. It's the new one that's on Hulu. I have been so excited to see that. Immediately, I'm using these tonight. The hook size is 5.5. I was using a lot smaller hook size as well. And I think both of these combined together ends up just making it nice. I mean, obviously these are chunky movie watching socks. I do wear these in my boots like in the wintertime when it's really, really cold out. So I do squish them in there, but I mean, they're pretty thick with 2 held together. And yeah, I just do single crochet around. It makes a nice little border on it and helps to stretch it out a little bit so it's not so tight. Had to use my pumpkin spice latte hooks for the pumpkin spice socks. And they are fully kitten approved. She has been using them as a snuggly blanket to chill. The only 2 that I didn't end up using today, or 3, but the ginger snap one, I have plans for that. And if you wanna like be in on the know of what I'm gonna do with it, when I'm gonna go ahead and use it, make sure you get into the newsletter because that will go out. The anniversary cake, I still have no idea what I'm gonna do with this. I think the best thing to do is a blanket. I think I'll just have to look around, find another snuggly warm blanket. This one, no idea. Literally no idea what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe I'll just do a cowl. This is the one that does have wool in it, so it is hand wash. I'm okay with hand washing cowls, so I think that's what it's gonna turn into. If you have any suggestions for really quick and easy cowl patterns, I would love to hear them down below. Highly, highly suggest going and grabbing a couple of cakes of this. What is it? Red macaroon again. All 3 are gonna be my go-to beanies Pretty productive day. I'm actually very happy with this. And brand new pumpkin pie socks that I didn't even expect to have today. Otherwise, that is it for me today. Thanks for hanging out with me, helping create some super fall beanies and some socks. Have a fantastically spooky rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.